call the meeting to order. I'm sorry, I'd like to call the public hearing to order. If you would stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everyone. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVore, Trustee Gatt,
Present.
Trustee Kazam, Trustee Goff,
Present.
Trustee Wigginton,
Present.
Trustee Weisenberg.
Present.
All right, we do have a quorum, missing a couple. First is the introduction of public comments by Director of Community Development, Wayne Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The subject tonight is a public hearing which is required by the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. The village has, to get a head start on lead service line replacement program, the village has applied for two separate funding mechanisms. One is going to be subject, both are going to be subject to the meeting tonight, but this one is for the lead service line replacement program. So that will be funded, and is commonly funded through the state revolving loan program. So it's a really great source of funding. It's federally funded through the state. So that's really the subject of this. We have applied for replacement of the lead service lines in the village through this funding program through the Illinois EPA. So as with most federal contracts, the EPA is required to do an environmental assessment of some sort. So for this one, they have completed an environmental assessment, preliminary environmental assessment, and that's in the document that I believe is in the front of you. Preliminary environmental impacts determination document. With this document, the EPA requires public comment. So this particular document has been published and is available for inspection here at the village and will remain available for inspection for another 10 days. And during that process, the public is available for may comment on the document here via email to the village clerk or to the EPA directly. And if there's anyone that wants to do that, the information's on the document. The EPA didn't find any significant environmental concerns in their preliminary assessment. So without significant comment from the public or other information, they'll probably go ahead and approve the environmental determination, which will allow the village then to go ahead with the project. And again, the EPA is considering us for several funding mechanisms for lead service line replacement. So I think that's the introduction. I can answer your questions, but we're really here to see if anyone wants to make public comment at this meeting. But again, there's other opportunities through email to the clerk or directly to the EPA.
Let's just stop and ask if the board members have any questions for you.
I do. So the lead service project, was that something that the General Assembly voted on in 21? That all lead services lines had to be
It's a federal mandate. It's a federal law, so the General Assembly may have voted on something, but kind of dovetail onto the federal law. So it, I hate to say mandates, but it's a mandate to be completed by every water service operator. So
okay.
we're getting a head start on that, and there is some benefit to that through some of the loan.
Okay. And normally that would fall on the homeowner to replace that lead service line.
Well, take lead out of that. So lead service lines, because of the legislation, lead service lines are the responsibility now for the water service operator to replace. But before, in the village and many municipalities, the homeowner is responsible for the service line from the water main to the home.
Was that the federal government that said it was the water company's responsibility, or was that the state?
The federal government with the lead service line, as far as my understanding, yes.
And I read online that the project was estimated to cost like $4 million. I thought that's what I read on the website, but I see $789,000.
It will be a phased project, so we can
Okay.
talk about that a little bit later too, but it'll be in 5 phases.
Okay.
If we have the number of lead service, if the maximum number of lead service lines.
Do we know,
Now,
right?
we'll discuss later, the lead service line inventory program to really determine how many we have. So that's the first step.
Okay.
But this is just, a requirement from the EPA to hold a public hearing, and there'll be further steps along the way as we pursue the loan program and get going with the lead service line replacement.
I can't think of any other questions. I sure did post this meeting, try to get people here, but brought my daughter.
Well, that was nice. I saw her back there. I think this is just the first step, as Mr. Aldridge pointed out. This is what is a requirement for the public to give comment, but after Thursday night, we went another step and hired an expert in water companies to evaluate some of the issues that we have and to evaluate our company from top to bottom. That public presentation of their findings and recommendations will be Thursday night. So the board, after hearing those findings and hearing more public comment, will have a lot to decide moving forward from there.
Okay.
I might add, we're kind of striking while the iron's hot, with the EPA. If the funding is out there and we apply and they give us a document, we like to react to it.
So I think this is when, whether it's the feds or the state spends money or invests money, they want to make sure that the public at least had an opportunity to weigh in and give comment. So I think that's a good thing. So we'll even take another step Thursday night again.
Right, and a note about this process, it's required again of any federal spending on projects. So when we talk about Prospect Road or whatever, if it's federally funded, we have to go through some form of this process. And some federal agencies require a lot more than what's required.
Okay. And you said once we get closer to the inventory, we'll discuss that. The lead service inventory.
Well, we can discuss some of that this evening. It's on the agenda for
Okay.
this evening. But
There is
it's
a
an
resol-
ongoing process.
Okay.
Mr. Aldridge, so I just want to make sure, you said that this is not the public's only opportunity to comment on this. This is posted on file here at the office. So for another 10 days, the public can make comments on this issue, correct?
Correct, yeah. Again, through the clerk, I would email, or they can come in and make comment this meeting or directly to the EPA.
Perfect, thank you.
Anyone else? For the record, anyone from the public that would like to address the board, please come forward, give your name and address. Anyone from the public care to make a comment? Going once, going twice. Comments from the audience are closed. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the hearing.
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The meeting is adjourned. It was properly noticed that the village board meeting would start immediately following the public hearing. I have 5:10, so I'd like to call the village board meeting to order. And if you would stand again for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge.
Can I interject? I think I misled the clerk on this. We have published our meeting, our regular meeting time is 5:30. When I was asked if the board meeting would follow immediately after the public hearing, and I said yes, that is, a lot of times you don't know how long a public hearing is going to be. You might have 20 people or you might have none. We can't start a village board meeting early. We can certainly start it late if the public hearing.
All right, I understand what you're saying. We'll resume at 5:30.
Okay, thank you.